5 News at Noon starts now.
Now at noon, the man accused in the Devil's Den double murder pleads not guilty. 5 News reporter Bo Russell joins us live with the latest. Plus, President Donald Trump threatens consequences ahead of his conversation with Vladimir Putin. What to expect from tomorrow's face-to-face in Alaska. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Emily Moss. First now, the arraignment of Andrew Mcan was held earlier today. Restrictions surrounding the hearing are raising more questions than answers about this case. 5 News reporter Bo Russell was there and is joining us live in the studio with the latest.
Emily, you're right. We have many unanswered questions about today's hearing at the Washington County Jail for Mcan's arraignment. Let's take a look at the footage we got from the jail. There was a court order posted on the door prohibiting any form of recording in or around the courtroom. The window on the door leading into the courtroom was covered with black paper, and the TV that Mcan's very first hearing was broadcast on was never turned on. When the defense left the courtroom, they refused to answer any questions. Washington County Prosecutor Brandon Carter was inside the courtroom. He confirms to us that the arraignment was held as scheduled, but he did not offer a reasoning for why the arraignment was not available for public viewing, and says that decision was up to Washington County Circuit Judge Joanna Taylor. I was finally able to get through to Judge Joanna Taylor's office and asked what the reasoning is for why the court order to restrict viewing to the arraignment was placed. I was told that no information will be shared about ongoing cases, but according to Arkansas Code 1610-105, the sittings of every court shall be public. Arkansas Code also states a court must articulate and be specific as to why a courtroom has been closed to the public. As of now, I've received no reason as to why this arraignment was made private. I'm going to continue to ask questions today, and have reached out to legal experts about the legality of this decision. I'm Bo Russell, 5 News.
Well, thanks, Bo. We look forward to seeing those reports. We'll have more from those top stories in just a moment, but right now, let's take a live look outside this Thursday afternoon. This shot coming from our Springdale Holiday Inn Mcan. Let's check in with meteorologist Danny Cassidy with more on the forecast today.
Yeah, it is a hot and humid one out there already in Fort Smith, feeling like 101 degrees. The temperature of 92, dew point is 73. As we talk about during the typical summer days, start to see those puffy cumulus clouds fill in during the afternoon, and that's what we're going to have once again for us on this Thursday. There is those feel likes across the board. You can see mid to upper 90s in northwest Arkansas, a couple of triple digits here in the River Valley, 101 in Fort Smith, 104 in Clarksville, and very close in many other areas. That feels like in northwest Arkansas could hit 100 in some areas, maybe as high as 101, 102 before again slowly dropping before sunset. Then for the River Valley, maybe as high as 107, many areas hitting the 104, 105 range. That's why you had that heat advisory that's been issued for the entire River Valley for tomorrow, excuse me. We're going to come pretty close for us today. Now, we are seeing a few spotty storms start to pop up in the region. You can see that a little bit into Johnson County, a little bit in the western corner of Franklin County. We'll continue to have those spotty storms, but they're going to be just that spotty. So we'll talk more about those storm chances as well as the lingering heat through much of next week coming up in your full forecast. Emily.
Thanks, Danny. Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin is joining other state leaders, urging Instagram to tighten safety around its new location sharing feature. The app's new map tool can show followers where you are when you post, but only if you opt in. In a statement, Griffin says, quote, social media already poses many risks for the vulnerable populations, particularly minors. Griffin wants Instagram to block the feature for users under the age of 18, in addition to warning adults about the risks and making it easier to turn off at any time. A proposed state prison in Franklin County is still sparking debate this midday. At a meeting in Rogers on Wednesday, county judges and sheriffs warned lawmakers that overcrowded jails are hurting misdemeanor cases. Meanwhile, some lawmakers criticized the planned prison site, saying it lacks water, power, and medical access. The Department of Corrections says the prison's water source will still be unknown. Now to an update in the sales tax revenue dispute between XNA and the city of Highville. XNA's board of directors will meet on Monday in Bentonville for court-ordered negotiations over the airport's detachment from the city. The dispute started last October when XNA filed to detach under Act 769, a law that exempts all transactions at the airport from city sales tax. Highville relies on the revenue to pay off a bond for water and sewer infrastructure. In June, both sides disagreed on two proposals on how to handle the taxes and withdrew them. The Marshall Islands national soccer team is making their debut tonight in Springdale in the Outrigger Cup. It's all happening out at Bulldog Stadium in Springdale, where the games are being hosted. Matches for the Cup started on Wednesday. Tonight, the Marshall Islands team will compete in their first international match. The team is based out of Northwest Arkansas, and organizers expect it to be a major moment for the local Marshallese community. Tonight's match starts at 8 o'clock after the Ozark United Under-19 Turks and Caicos Island game. Happening tonight, Startup Junkie is set to host the 2025 Startup World Cup Arkansas qualifiers. It happens tonight from 5:30 to 8:30 at Theater Square in downtown Fayetteville. Arkansas-based startups will have the opportunity to compete for a chance to win $1 million investment prize at the Global Grand Finale in San Francisco. The Startup World Cup is one of the largest startup competitions in the world. The finalists that were chosen will pitch live tonight at Theater Square with a panel of judges selecting the ultimate winner from Arkansas. That winner will then advance to the Startup World Cup finale on October 17th. Happening here in just about an hour, Senator Tom Cotton is visiting Bentonville. He'll be touring the Heartland Whole Health Institute. He's set to meet with Institute leaders at 1:15 to learn more about the organization's healthcare transformation efforts. President Donald Trump is now framing tomorrow's face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska as a first step to ending the war in Ukraine. Tureen Small has the latest from the White House.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer greeted Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in London Thursday to discuss President Trump's meeting tomorrow with Russian President Vladimir Putin, where the main topic will be ending the war in Ukraine.
To achieve a peace, I think we all recognize that there'll have to be some conversation about security guarantees. There'll have to be some conversation about, territorial disputes and claims.
President Trump tempered expectations Wednesday.
It's going to be a very important meeting, but it's setting the table for the second meeting.
The president said the sit-down is a chance to hear what Putin has to say, with the real negotiations still to come once Ukraine is involved.
Now, there may be no second meeting, because if I feel that it's not appropriate to have it because I didn't get the answers that we have to have, then we're not going to have a second meeting.
Trump's comments came after a video call with European leaders who urged him to push for a full ceasefire before discussing territory. The White House says the two world leaders will hold a joint news conference following their face-to-face talks. Trump and Putin last met in Japan in 2019. This time they'll sit down at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson outside Anchorage, Alaska. It's difficult for Putin to travel abroad because of sanctions and war crimes allegations, so the Treasury Department issued him and his team a special license to land on U.S. soil. It expires after August 20th. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
In addition to the war in Ukraine, a Kremlin aide said the leaders will also discuss possible economic cooperation between Washington and Moscow. YouTube is rolling out a new safety test for teens in the United States. Its AI system estimates a user's age based on activity and account history, not just the birth date entered at sign-up. If it flags someone as under 18, the platform will turn on standard protections, including digital well-being tools like break reminders and bedtime alerts. However, users can still verify they're 18 or older with an ID or credit card. 26 alleged cartel members now face justice in the United States after Mexico extradited them. The Trump administration accuses them of having roles in drug trafficking and other crimes. The LA County Sheriff alleges one was involved in the killing of a deputy in 2008. Mexican officials say the extraditions were not aimed at pleasing President Donald Trump. They argue that these prisoners were continuing drug operations from behind bars. A plane full of people trying to get from Virginia to LA ended up in Colorado because of an alarming mid-air incident in the cabin. A passenger now faces possible criminal charges for allegedly starting a disturbance on board, forcing the jets to divert and land. Chris Van Cleve has more.
Applause for police after they arrested and removed a man from a Breeze Airways flight. The airline says he started an altercation with the crew Wednesday.
Yeah, unruly passenger is free out of his restraint. He's removed his belt trying to hit people.
The disruption forced the flight to divert to Grand Junction, Colorado, while en route from Norfolk, Virginia to Los Angeles.
Hey, drop the skateboard.
The FBI identified the passenger as 46-year-old David Leroy Carter. Local police say he allegedly waved his skateboard and shouted racial slurs at flight attendants while intoxicated. Airline staff allegedly tried to restrain him twice, but he broke free both times.
He was saying racial slurs, he was being loud, and I didn't know he attacked anybody until I saw the news afterwards.
This video shows another passenger force Carter back into his seat.
And the linebacker dude that was sitting in 17th seat literally picked this man up underneath his armpits and put him down.
That man spoke to CBS News Los Angeles.
My son was on there, and there was other kids on there, and so I just had to, sit him down.
Investigators say while charges are pending, it does not appear Carter physically assaulted anyone. So far this year, the FAA says there have been over 1,000 incidents of disruptive passengers, but they have been on the decline since 2021. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News.